Feeling friends is this concept that I came up with laying in bed one night. I have all these close friends who have these wonderful stories that can help change the world, life experiences that can help other people believe in themselves, hold tight to their dreams and make their dreams reality. On Feeling Friends, we talk about God, we talk about love, relationships. I have celebrity friends, I have non-celebrity friends. I have church members, family members. But when you watch and listen to Feeling Friends, you will learn and you will laugh. It's a community of friends helping to build each other up. So tune in to Feeling Friends every Sunday on WHCR 90.3 FM, or you can catch me on YouTube at Feeling Friends Radio. All right, I'll see you there. WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Feeling Friends. Of course, I'm Phil with my new hairstyle. And I'm here. We got a great show for today. Today, we're talking about relationships, marriage. What will it take to keep your marriage alive and thriving? I've got two great couples here live in the studio. They're really close friends of mine. And guess what? We're all from Dallas. They call it the Triple D now. We got to ask PJ what that stands for. So let's go ahead and bring these two wonderful couples into the studio, Maya and Castle Gray. What's up, y'all? And PJ and Andrews, how y'all doing?
What's happening?
What's happening? Welcome to the studio, y'all.
What's happening?
Welcome to Feeling Friends.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you all for being here and getting into this topic of marriage. And you all have, and I chose you all because you all have really shown us how to fight through marriage, how to make it work. And I've known all of you all respectively since maybe middle school. And I appreciate the relationships that you all have. And I hope that the audience learns something from this. So let's just start with Maya and Cass. How did y'all meet and where did y'all meet? And how did y'all fall in love?
The real story? No.
The real story. I want to know the real story. Did he slide in DMs? We didn't have DMs back then, but what did he do?
We did it the sophomore year. Remember sophomore year?
Oh, sophomore year, right?
So we met at Clark University our freshman year. Let him tell it. I skipped him in the financial aid line or something like that.
And you know that's real. That's some serious stuff there.
Right, it is.
I didn't know the trick about signing your name, you leave, and then you come back, right? So
right.
But anyway.
Sounded like the same stuff was going on in Atlanta was going on at FAM. So
right.
I had to pay, baby.
Right.
Representing for the HBCU.
Absolutely.
Already.
So yeah, freshman at Clark.
So freshman year at Clark, yes, and we are Clark Atlanta University, and Cass is also a member of my fraternity, the oldest and the coldest. So if y'all hear me roast him, it's because it's my frat brothers. We got that kind of bond going on. That's what that is. So PJ and Amber, how did y'all meet, and how did y'all get to where we are today?
Well, I slid in the DM. We met on Facebook actually, but what's crazy is we got the same circle of friends. We just never bumped into each other all these years, and then Facebook.
He started liking pictures, and I
wasn't even looking for nothing or interested in nothing. I was just like the picture.
Like the picture.
It was them eyes.
Oh yeah.
Just like the picture and kept it moving because I was living my best life, as Luke Duval would say. So I was.
Now, hold on. Did he like one picture? Did he do like 50? Did he do like this Facebook stalking? You know,
he did like 10 at a time, 3 different times.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, the last time I was like, let me go ahead and see what's up. What is he trying to do? What message is he trying to send? And he was like, oh, I was just liking pictures.
I wasn't trying to send no message. No cap. I was just liking pictures and going on about my business.
Going on about my business. Right, thank you, Bye. That's the place I want.
He was going through the pictures. There was some old ones and new ones. And I was like, okay.
If somebody Facebook stalking, if they like something from 2005, you're like, how did you even scroll all the way down there?
And then try to unlike it real quick.
Right.
We just Facebook friends too, because we weren't even Facebook friends at first. I don't even remember but we knew a lot. We had so many mutual friends. Absolutely. And like I said, we were from the same neighborhood. So
small story though. Where she stayed at in South Dallas, I used to catch the bus across the street every day, not knowing who lived in that damn house. Like,
wow.
Nice ass house, but never knew who lived there.
And his great grandmother stays like 3 blocks away from my mom's house.
Wow.
We cross paths or anything. It's crazy.
It's a small world, and that's how life works. You just never know. You never know. Let's get into marriage because let's start with Maya and Cass. You all have been together for a very long time. How long have you all been together? Okay, yeah, let's get that straight now. It's been a long time.
17 years.
You guys have been together 17 years. That is a very long time. You've been married for what, 11 years. So let's just get into the real. We don't have that much time. How's marriage going for you all? How is it going?
I like to think of marriage as coming in seasons. So, summer, fall, winter, and spring, all times aren't great, so, and I think once we were able to name that and identify that, everything isn't going to be great all the time, we were able to, come away from, disagreements or, arguments a lot better because at the end of the day, we know that we're fulfilling God's purpose, not just, in everything that we do, with our jobs and everything, but our marriage in itself is a ministry as well. So always keeping God at the forefront is really, what we always, strive to make sure that we're, I guess, we're emulating that for not just ourselves and our kids, but for other people as well.
Absolutely. I like that. And PJ and Amber, how is marriage going for you all?
We just made 1 year of marriage. So
congratulations.
And it's the same thing you said, it's seasons. It's not always good. But also having God in it and also being able to communicate with the other person and the other person being willing to listen to you and not just hear you and understand, okay, I hear what you're saying. I didn't mean it that way, or I wasn't trying to portray it that way, but moving forward, I will change this so you don't internalize it this way. So I think communication is right up there with having God in it because this is totally different from I think either one of our previous marriages. So I think having God in it more so in the forefront, and then having that open line of communication because it's like we're older now, we know what we expect, we know what we want from the other person, and in return as well. So just having that. Want to add anything?
No, she hit the nail right on the head. I think this second go around because we've both been married and divorced. You take lessons learned from the previous situation and just life in general. And if you want something to work, then you sit down and make stuff work out.
Absolutely. Y'all just jumping on. Y'all answered all my questions before I get the answer. With this, both of y'all. But God is so important. So let's start off with that. So you all believe that God should be the head, and before you all start dating, did you all pray about finding a mate? Is this something that it just happened, or is Maya and Cass, you all were really young, but we were already in the church. But did you all pray about, I need to find somebody, I need to make sure that God understands that I need this kind of person, or did you pray for the person, or what?
Yeah, so like going into it, it's crazy and it sounds crazy when people hear us talk about it, but it's like from the first conversation, it kind of was mind blowing because I was like, oh my God, I think this is my husband. You know what I mean? Like the things that attracted me to him the most were like things that's most important and that will last like throughout time, right? Like I saw that he was a leader. Of course, he's fine. You know what I'm saying?
We need to go to commercial now.
There we go.
And we're starting.
His work ethic, like his heart, like he just loves people like I do. He loves helping people. His love for the Lord. So I saw that early on, and I wasn't really trying to like get locked down like that because we started dating freshman year. I'm like, no, I don't want to date yet. Like we chilling.
Right.
I'm chilling. I'm in Atlanta.
Right.
So I wasn't really trying to get locked down like that yet. But like, as we started dating, we knew that it was like going toward engagement and marriage, right? Like we knew that. And so we did take steps before we got engaged. Like, we were members at Elizabeth Baptist Church in Atlanta.
EBC.
The place to be. So we took like this class, right? It was called Marriage Without Regrets. And it was like a 4-month class of like what the Bible says about marriage. So I was like, look, this is gonna be we gonna go this way, or we gonna go
They were dedicated.
Y'all had a plan.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the Bible about marriage?
Right.
we did that, and then we actually got engaged during the class, and then right after that, we ended up taking a premarital class that was like 3 more months.
Wow.
So, we did do a lot of praying, a lot of soul seeking, a lot of consulting other people too.
Shout out to Pastor Craig Oliver and Elizabeth Baptist Church.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I used to do the announcements for EBC. Y'all remember that back in the day? PJ and Amber, what about you all?
Our approach wasn't nothing like that, bro. Just gonna keep it 100. Like, that's dope. And I think if more couples go down that traditional route like that, that'll be,
especially young couples.
Yeah, it'll probably keep them together a lot longer and keep that foundation. But as far as us, it was just transparency, like keeping it a buck. Like, we both been divorced. We both know what we did not want. We both know where we were in life and where we was trying to go. And it was just sit down having a conversation. Like, okay, this is where you at. This is where I'm at. This is what we want. This is what you're looking for. This is what I am. And this is what you want to do. Let's do it.
Now that's go ahead.
Us, either one of us seeking a relationship, let alone a marriage, and the end of it. And so I think once we got to that point, like, hey, I'm feeling this. I don't know how you're feeling. What do you, how do you want to move forward? Because, I'm looking at you like this. I can see you as my husband. I can see you as this. And how are you feeling? And if you don't, that's okay. But just having that open lines of communication from jump, because even us starting dating, we were like, oh, we just having fun. We don't, no labels, no boyfriend and girlfriend. We just having fun.
We lived in 2 different states too.
And so it was a long distance relationship too at first. So again, that added another layer. Oh, this isn't,
you just fun, friend. Man. We just
Well,
it's interesting because you all have different perspectives. So I can go ahead and ask this now. So you all went through divorces. Now with Maya and Cass, you all have to grow. Y'all been growing through stuff together, right? So with Amber and PJ, what about the growing pains? You said, this is what I know what I want. I know what I don't want. Could you have made that work prior? Or what do we say to people now who are going through it? Like, I don't want to get divorced, because this show is really to help people stay together and fight through the marriage. How do you say, okay, how do I fight through these growing pains? Because guess what? We're at the point now where we're starting to do this. We're starting to separate, but we need to come together like this, right? As one. So what kind of advice would you give to?
It takes 2 people. It takes 2 people wholeheartedly to put in the work equally, because it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work, and you have to be vulnerable. You have to be open. You have to just, if you want that love to work, you have to be able to put in that work 100%.
I would say patience is key. Giving a person some space to process what just transpired, and then coming back and communicating about it. And I think if that happens, that'll alleviate divorce. Because I think my first marriage, it was my way or the highway type of situation. So to sit down now to be like, okay, this is how you truly feel. This is what you're going through, and this is my part in it. Because I'm at a point now in my life where I just it's all about peace. So that's what made me ask for a hand in marriage, because that was my peace. Because the first situation, it was like a headache. So I think as men mature and get to a certain level in life, they get their ducks in a row, their finances, they just want to be at peace. They want to be loved and love others. You know what I mean? So that's where I was at. And just communicate.
So Amber was your BC powder because you had headaches before. So Maya and Cass, you all are growing together. So quite opposite of PJ and Amber, you all have grown. I have been through different life stages by myself, where I divorced myself. So how do y'all work through this? What is it with you all where y'all have to stick together? You got freshman Pfeiffer. Were you in Pfeiffer Hall, Maya, versus grown Maya, who's a teacher making it happen in the world. How do you all deal with those growing pains together?
I think going into it, because we were together like 6 years prior to even being married, right? So we saw and we knew, like, you're not going to be the same person years from now as you are 3 years from now, let alone 17 years from now. So I think we kind of went into it with that mindset, like, you're going to change.
Right.
We figured that. I'm not going to say we went into it with it, but like by year 3, we were like, you're gonna change, right? And so you gotta love that person for who they are, and like not who they will possibly be. But like if you don't change and you this person for the rest of your life, I'm okay with that. You know, you can't go in thinking you're gonna change somebody. That's not gonna happen.
Hello, say that again. You can't change nobody. You can't. But people think they can change people.
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
We knew we were gonna
You
have
can
to
change yourself before you can change
right?
other people.
Yeah. What would you say?
I think when you're thinking about, I know the topic of divorce is kind of, you know, for a long time it was taboo for us, but with the vows that we made to each other, like the only way that in our eyes that, you know, divorce will be okay with God is if the two of us recognize that we don't want God to fix whatever the issue. So
that's huge, Cass.
But there's two ways. Either God can't fix it, so you have to come to terms with God can't fix it, or God, I don't want God to fix it, and there's nothing that God can't fix. So just keeping that in the back of your mind, you gotta always. We've always known that, you know, there's nothing that God can't fix. So on the other side of this, we know that we gotta operate in God's will.
Wow. Did you want to say something, PJ?
Nah, that's just dope. I mean, God is at the center of everything. And I would say my situation is a little different. We was in church in my first marriage, but I think where you at individual and your faith plays a huge role as well.
That's true.
Everybody go to church ain't, you know, fulfilling what it's supposed to be doing. So everybody married ain't holding their end of the bargain too. So
that's a good.
You gotta hold yourself accountable and that's what I
well, let's jump into that. Let's jump into the nitty gritty. Well, what if your spouse ain't holding their end of the bargain? What if they are lackluster? What if they're not holding up what they say they were going to do at the first part of the marriage? What do you do? What do you do? You got a trifling husband, you got a trifling wife, and you don't want to get a divorce.
So I like what Amber said about like accountability and vulnerability. And, you know, believe it or not, vulnerability looks different at different stages of our marriage, right? I swear, like maybe 2 months ago, we had to have like an accountability and vulnerability conversation. Like,
really,
from this time to this time, you know, I ain't really been just like emotionally available. You know, I got 2 kids under 3, you know, so it's like back to back. And then CJ, of course, but it's like he had to tell me, like, you tell me about your day, but you don't really tell me how you doing. Like, you're not emotionally available. And I didn't realize that I was being like closed off because I'm like a robot right now, right? Like the kids need this, kids need this, you need this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
right.
I mean, even this is year 11 for us. It doesn't get any easier. You just have to keep being transparent and keep being vulnerable. And if he had had that conversation with me year 5, we would have like not talked for like 2 weeks. You know, like I would have gone shopping, gone by myself.
Right, look right up by her face.
Right, like whatever. So, like, having that conversation now, it was like, wow, like thank you for sharing it with me. Like, what do I need to do to make it better? Like, so when I'm being closed off again, he's like, you're doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So my day, it made me sad when, you know.
Well, that's good.
You know, he's like,
that's dope.
That's good.
You know, life can get going, and you know, it looks different.
And you would think that, you know, with our third kid, like our third time doing this, we would have it like this, but you have to relearn that over and over again because the first time we did it, it was just 3 people. It was me, her, and CJ. But now we got 5 people that we all have to count of. So you gotta constantly think about how this is affecting Zara. You know, she's the middle child. She only got 2 years really of being the baby.
Not
you know,
even
so
that.
so you gotta always think about how we can go at this a little bit better.
That's good. You know, you all about to catch up with PJ and Amber because both of y'all have a lot of kids. Women. So Amber, I want to ask you: did you feel how Maya felt being robotic because you have kids? You got to take care of the house. You got to make sure that did you feel the same way? And maybe okay.
And PJ would always tell me, slow down. What do you need me to do? Because you're running. You need to rest. You need to do this. You need to. And I'm like, oh, but again, for me, I'm not used to having a helpmate. Even in my previous marriage, I was doing everything. And so it's instilled in me to, this. The kids need this. I need to take them here. I need to take them there. I need to do this. I need to clean this. I need to cook this. I need to make sure this is ready. Oh, it's the project due. Oh, this is due. Oh, I need to do this for work. I need to, I'm used to burning that oil continuously. Right. And for me, it's been hard to kind of
let it go. It's hard for us to let it go. Like, damn, I am here. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly what he says. Hello, I'm here. Right. What do you need me to do? I'm like, oh no, I got it. I just got to do this. Oh no, I got it. I just got it. You sit down. You do this. You rest.
Is it because you don't think he's capable to do, or are you just used to not having a helpmate, like you said? You're just not used to having.
I'm used to not having a helpmate. Yeah. I'm not used to having someone help with dinner. I'm not used to having someone help with homework, be involved in school stuff, and being able to just clean
I do
up.
the laundry too,
and everything. Like,
but the difference though, and I think as bro was checking on, like, we in different seasons, and I think just in life in general, we just got to pick up and go. Like we COVID is here, so I'm teleworking, so I'm at home all day, every day with the kids. So it's like little stuff I can pick up on and alleviate stuff. So when she get home from work, she ain't got to do it. So I think picking up the small tasks can help them, and vice versa. So
absolutely. So I got a question. So do you all think, since you're biblical and y'all go to church, the man should be the head of the house? Should the women stay in their place and do what they need to do? Look, thank you, my friend. Amber my face, like, let me tell you something.
What place are you speaking of that we should stay in?
Well, let's talk about it, because most men,
God,
Cash is like, so most men run the household, and women stay in the place. Is that an antiquated idea? Is that a biblical idea? Go ahead, let's talk about it. People want to
know. Look, I think what you're saying is A1, but your choice of words
is wrong.
Let me tell you, because I deal with this every day, right? You get married. It's your choice of words, whereas men, we just communicating. So I know what you're saying and what you mean, but your choice of words has stopped her thinking. Because she said the word place. She sat down like
that. Right, absolutely.
So I'm learning that for the married man and for the second one. Your choice of words
and how you communicate. It's very important.
Listening for the message, right. The words. So
I did that for the shock factor too. I'm just saying that for the rest. It's radio, y'all. It's radio.
And I'm with you, PJ. It's all about. I don't have to say that I'm the head of the household. It's all in my actions. So
absolutely.
A conversation that we have too often. I mean, when we're talking like in situations like this, when we have to name it and identify. Okay, who's the head of the house? Of course, that's going to be me. But I mean that goes with the actions that we carry out from day to day. So.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't mind him being like quote unquote the head of the household, however y'all antiquated people say it. You know what I mean? Like it's a partnership, right? Yeah. But I don't mind being I guess if you want to throw it back in the day, like submissive. I don't mind it because I know he's submitting to God. So like where are you getting your decisions from? If
that's the point. That's the point. Absolutely.
If this is something I feel like you operating out your own will, we come on, we gotta talk about this, right?
Well, I can talk to the fellas. Men, we have homeboys who think like that. And they are pulling up their end of the bargain. So you can't run a household unless you, like mine says, submit to God, unless you got money, unless you do your part of the partnership, right? Yeah. So
you can't be the head of the household broke and not bringing that to the table either. Like you can't
absolutely
traffic and then she doing everything. So I think that's what's going on within our community as a whole. People get caught up on what their ideal of marriage is and what they want versus looking at reality and looking at what's best for the situation.
And what you want for your marriage shouldn't be based on someone else's marriage or a fairy tale or what you thought it would be. Again, it's coming together and talking with your husband or your wife, your partner, and asking them, what do you want out of a marriage? What do you expect in this marriage? And how can we both make it successful? Because we are till death do us part. So having that conversation too and that understanding.
Absolutely.
I think it's important too, like, because I recognize there's a lot of things in our marriage and our household that I'm just not good at. You know, like she's very instrumental in, like, she's the nurturing parent. You know, like I just don't have that in me. You know, so it's a two-way street. Yeah, you know, if we have to name a head of household, that's me. But at the same time, like Maya said earlier, it's a true partnership.
But bro, you touched on something though, because you were saying that nurturing part. I think all y'all kids together, whereas our kids are from previous marriages. So it's like we're learning our bonus kids, for lack of a better word. We're learning their personalities, learning them. So that's a challenge in itself as well. So you got to lean on a vulnerable partner sometimes.
Yep.
It'd be. Whew.
Philip, I'm gonna add something else too. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
We don't really follow like traditional roles or what people think like traditional roles look like. It just
Thank you. That was my next question. They're perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
I
was gonna go on a gender role, so go ahead and talk about that. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if it's like us being millennials or just us. Like, you got to make it work for you. And you know what people put out on the gram and what people are doing on, like, that's one thing. Listen, as for me in this house, listen, I'm not the cook. I'm straight up. I know a lot of women. I know Amber can throw down. I done seen some dishes.
She can, yeah.
You know what? That's Cass's ministry.
Right.
My ministry may be finances and the kids.
Right.
You gotta find
absolutely.
for you. And when you try to step outside of that, it don't always go good. You know, I try to, I cook a little something. I throw some bacon in there,
Yeah, the easy stuff.
If he loves that and he does that with passion and he's like, I'm gonna cook for my family, by all means,
Let's do it.
You know, when you try to do roles just because you feel like it's what society wants, or you feel like, it's what you're supposed to do, it just doesn't work. And we try to do that, and it doesn't work. Like, he's not good with finances, but he think he's supposed to, control all that. He's not good.
Well, let's talk about that. Cassie, you spending all the money? No, I'm just like,
she hit the nail right on the head though. With
that every month.
Stuff up too. Like, I mean, because in traditional roles, you think, oh, the man in the house, he fixing everything, doing. No, I outsource what I don't want to do or can't do. That's what I get paid for. Like, if I ain't let me see this. This the office. We just got done for her business, right? She thought I was painting and hanging stuff. Nah, man, we're gonna pay somebody to do this. But people think, the wife's supposed to be the one cooking. Nah, I can cook too. Like, so you got to do what's best for your situation.
Cleaning or doing the cleaning, and he cleans up too. So yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into another topic. How do you all deal with temptation? You got people coming after Cass, Maya, Cass, they coming after Maya, vice versa, Pete, they coming after PJ and Amber. How do y'all deal with people wanting your spouse, or y'all know what I'm saying? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. How do y'all deal with that and shutting people down? Is that something that just you all answer that? How do y'all deal with the temptation of other people?
So we learned to curb it better throughout the years.
Okay.
We're together a
long time, yeah.
Time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it used to be like, we'll be friends with people, but then them antennas go up like, I don't know about that. And so
y'all got a portrait situation going on?
No.
I think y'all got no portrait situation going on. Trying to come in, you know what I mean?
You got a Will and Jada. Y'all have entanglements now. Go ahead.
Everybody's intentions aren't good though. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's intentions, and Cass has picked up on things that I haven't, and I've picked up on things that he hasn't. And I've learned to like roll with his intuition. In hindsight, I'm like, dude was kind of sketch. You know what I mean? Like, So now it's like I overdo it, and he probably gonna know who I'm talking about in a minute. He won't know, but anyway, one of our old friends, Clark, good dude. No, good dude. Yeah. Good dude, good family. I overdo it now, right? He hit me up. He was like, "Hey, how's it going?" He saw us like
body language is real.
He was like, "Hey, how you doing? How's it going? How's life?" I said, "I'm married. I got 3 kids, and I feel so stupid because I was like, I know he wasn't trying to come at me like that, but I was out there. I was like, bro, I ain't seen you in 30 years. I'm married.
Right.
I got 3 kids. I'm happy. He was like, oh, my wife's a teacher too. And I was like, but I mean, that curve game is strong. Like, you got to be like, hey, this is what it is. Or, somebody was like, hey, how's it going? I was like, oh, my husband does that. Right. And, like, we're a unit. At the beginning, I used to hate people. I'd be like, where Cass? Like, can I show up by myself?
Right.
But now, people have learned to respect us as, like, a unit. And so I remember where we go, homecoming. Yeah. Remember, so it was homecoming. I was pregnant. People didn't know I was pregnant. I was pregnant, and we had CJ. So I was like at the hotel, like throwing up, just bad. But I wanted him to go out and enjoy, like,
have a good time.
Alphas, do what you do. And so Rebecca saw him out without me. What did Rebecca say?
What'd she say?
I think it was like the pre-alumni party or something. She was like, she called, where you? I was like, Rebecca, I'm cool. I'm just not feeling well at the hotel,
That's the same Rebecca from Lincoln.
From Lincoln. Yeah, that's the same one.
Family. Yeah.
He ain't doing nothing, but he here. I said, I know he in the corner over there drinking.
Right, yeah.
But and you gotta have friends around you that hold you accountable too. Yeah.
No, a lot of your friends be nosy too. They need to mind their business. But that's a whole other.
Look, every friend ain't that giving you that dirt ain't really your friend. So
they're not your friend too. But that's a good friend though. But but some people need to mind their own business. But that's well. Now, how do you curve it, Amber and PJ? What do y'all do? If y'all do curve it, I mean, I don't know. Let me know. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you might shut it down. You might say, ain't no curve. We shut it straight down. You know what I mean? So
so definitely shut down off top. It's because I think for me, it's like, oh, you married now? Oh, I didn't know you what was when I was with my husband, or if it's or hey, beautiful, how. Because it's times I've shown you comments and I'm like, do you know who this is?
They do a good job at doing that. And I think that's why she's my wife. Because she gives that sense of comfort or that peace. Well, I ain't got to worry about stuff like that. Whereas before, it was like, oh, I got to look at the DMs or something. Yeah. Niggas sending messages, or are you entertaining something because you're not where I'm at mentally. So I don't got to do that now. Like, she stop all that from the gate. Like, she'll let people know where we at, how we doing, what's going on.
And tag him in the comment. Do you see this?
You I trust you to handle that. Like, so I ain't gotta go through all that no more. But I did before. So
well, Cass didn't answer that, so we're gonna let Cass.
That's what I was about to say. I was about to say Cass ain't said nothing. He over there just chilling. Cass, what you doing?
I'm gonna take over the show real quick. Let Cass answer that.
Go ahead, Cass. PJ spoke up. Now, what you got to say?
I did want to say that in the beginning, I wasn't I wasn't really good with picking up on. My antennas weren't as good as hers, so you have to be like, you need to watch that, like over the years, I've gotten better, with, hey, stay back, give me 6 feet, that type of thing. But she helped me be able to identify that so that I could curve it in the way that she does.
Did you just not care, or did you like the attention as the drum major?
I honestly just didn't know. I was oblivious to it. So
he's a little naive. I will.
Cass is just a nice person. He's just nice.
You said without Dallas, Cass is from a little small town in South Carolina. I love it though. We don't retire there, but he's from South Carolina, like just a small city, and so some stuff he just, It's
I didn't know she was thinking of mine.
I'm like, she's trying to do what?
Oh, that's that old Southern Georgia.
Yeah. What were you about to say, Amber? Were you about to say something?
I think it's also women can see how other women move and how they're trying to, weave in and out or drop little hints or extra touch or extra whatever. To whereas men aren't as
I don't care about all that extra.
Y'all not seeing what we see. Y'all don't see it from the same perspective. We're looking from a woman's perspective, so we know what their intentions are about their actions that they're doing. And I think it's vice versa for men too. We might, that's just a friend, or and then, but they're like, no, they're doing a little too much. They're trying to get your attention. I'm like, oh, really? So
you might have to pull that. Hello, this is Barbara. Woman to woman. That's good, and I'm happy that But I know that we're still young, and I know that a lot of people see couples like you all, and people want that, and so they try to. In some weird way, people like people who are in relationships, so they try to draw.
Relationship goals look good on the ground.
Yeah, it look good on the ground, right?
Yeah, it's a hashtag.
Relationship goals.
But people don't put the work in.
Right.
I wanted to ask you all, how do you all maintain yourself and still be one, if that makes sense? Does that make sense? How do you still, and I know, Maya, you said this, like people always ask, where is Cad? How do you maintain yourself and still be one?
You need your me time, so you gotta incorporate your me time within your 24 hours. I would say, for me, it's my sunroom. One a day, keep the bullshit away. I'm just gonna keep it 100. So I find time within the day to get my peace within me. So some people do it spiritually, some people yoga, meditate, and all that. Keisha's my friend. So we gotta have some me time.
You do.
And you gotta, because that's important. Mental health is real. So whether you do it with meditating, yoga, or you gotta find something to find your peace and your balance. So you gotta maintain your me time.
Absolutely.
I would say that's our main struggle right now, simply because, especially with the pandemic, it started over a year ago. It's hard carving out that time. We go to work for 8 hours. We sleep for another hour, so you really only have 8 hours if you get that as a family. So it's tough carving out. I know, especially for Maya. She's still breastfeeding Sterling, but carving out that time for herself is very difficult, and it's easier for me to do it, but I don't get to do it as well. As often as we should, just to have that time for us individually. So that's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, I'm getting better, and I've learned to recognize the patterns. It's like when our kids reach a certain age, then I feel like it's okay to have some me time. But like I got to do that, So it's funny, but Cass talking about some 8 hours of sleep. Who getting 8 hours of sleep around here?
I was about to say that, Cass. You be knocked out.
I get like 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night.
Wow, really?
I got to learn to kind of operate after that. But some of it is by like my own choice, because I learned that my quiet time is either when they all sleep, late at night, or early in the morning. So I'm up at 4 just to have some peace. You know what I mean? Like I'm up at 4 just like
just to get that peace.
Sit down. I don't have to run after nobody. I'm not breaking fights. I'm not feeding anybody. I'm just like, just chilling. So I have to make some sacrifices to make just, to have some me time or whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Let me on that real quick, because she made some key points there. Because my wife just brought that to my attention. Like I said, that's my me time, and that's where I go. Because I'm at home teleworking, so I go from my office to the sunroom, and she pointed it out to me like, bro, that's all you do. So you need to figure out something else. But it's like, it's not like it's business, it's me time, it's my unwinding from the kids. So it's a lot of things being unpacked when I go into my sunroom. Yeah. So I think you have to communicate with your spouse like what you're truly going through and what you need, because that's what I need. But for her, like I see, she do the happy hour with her coworkers to get out the house to because this pandemic has been hard on a lot of couples.
Absolutely.
Everybody in the house at the same time all the time. It's
that's so important you said that, PJ, because that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this show, and as I hope people will listen to you all and learn from what the advice you all are giving. And I want to get these few questions. We only got a few more minutes. Is it important to like or love your spouse? Which one is important? And y'all keep talking. I'm gonna move myself for a minute, but is it important to like or love your spouse?
It's most important to love, because there's a lot of times that I don't like Maya, and there's a lot of times that Maya don't like me. But love,
love is key.
Yeah, love is key, and being and loving them and being in love with them too.
Being in love,
because you like people, you dislike them within the next 5 minutes. So that's just I would say the light is within the moment, but love is overall. So I think if you constantly know where love is, like where it sits with y'all, and you keep that at the forefront, because you won't dislike them every day. Because whether it's the kids do some, or they do some, or you do some, and their split reaction to it, that don't make you dislike them. We just
absolutely.
God first and love all. You be straight.
You be straight. Absolutely. So what did we miss anything? Let's go on to final thoughts. I really appreciate each of you all coming on the show, and this is a really great topic, and I hope someone really learns from it. What did we miss? Let's go on to final thoughts. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. But let's start with Maya and Cass. What do you all think we want to add to the final part of this?
Just like parenting, like your relationship is like a whole nother entity that you have to grow and you have to nurture and you have to feed that thing the right thing, right? You have to make sure that you guys are taking time out even for yourselves. And I'm speaking to us because we need to do that as well. But like, it's not something that happens overnight. It's something you have to work at. It's not like for 6 easy payments of $11.95. And it's not even like 1 or 2 things that make up a marriage, man. It's a whole bunch of stuff. But like I said, like with parenting, you have to figure out what works for you. What works for PJ and Amber is not necessarily what works for us. And you can't, idolize couples and character. I mean, couples and think that, oh, I'm just going to do what they do and I'm going to have a successful marriage. It's not like that. You have to figure out what works for y'all.
And I think that's why they always tell, the advice that we're always giving is continuously date your wife, because like Maya hit on earlier, that person is changing. Me to be able to change and grow with her, you gotta constantly cut out that time to date her and get to know her continuously versus, oh, I know her, because she's going through things.
Changing, he's changing too.
Absolutely. And to you, PJ and Amber, what are your final thoughts?
Go. I'm gonna go last.
Well, continue on what they said then.
No, I would say, for me, the advice I would want to leave with people, because I wrote this shit down. Now
you made this whole show without cussing. Now I got to edit that part.
Oh man, my bad.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
You said we were gonna keep 100.
We gotta keep 100. Go ahead. You good?
I would say, when you got kids, whether they within the marriage or came from previous relationships, carve out that one-on-one time with the kids so you can build a relationship with them, as well as carve out that one-on-one time with your spouse, because that plays a key role as well. Patience is key, love at all costs. And I would say, when you're going through certain situations, don't look at the situation itself. Look at it as that situation came about based off their experience from the past or the current environment. So, and understand that the way they tackled that situation is probably from their previous experience. So don't look at it as at them. Just try to fix it or work with them.
Absolutely.
Like I would say.
Absolutely.
I think that's good. I think, and also just communicate. That is the biggest thing. And then same thing, continue to date your spouse, because dating and whatever you're doing during that dating period and engagement is what got you to the marriage. So you can't just stop doing that once you got married. Oh, we're married now, so now that's what we've got to our end goal. But that's not. It's staying married is the end goal in a marriage. So continue to do whatever you did to get that person. Continue to do it and
find that balance. Because we keep on saying communication, but sometimes over communicating can aggravate people. So you got to find that balance.
Go ahead, Mike. That's good.
Now say this to me, so I be overly communicating. Let me tell you.
You trying to get your foot across.
I was one today. I thought the show was at 11. No, the show was at 10. Like we were going to a different location to do this.
Yes.
I didn't overly communicate on this. I dropped the ball on this. My bad.
And you know, I wanted to ask y'all, and I can tell y'all like each other because y'all laugh with each other, both couples, and it's about laughter, right? Because you gotta have fun. You gotta have fun. You gotta keep the laughter in a marriage. I thank each and every one of you all. You all are getting a special gift sponsored by Phil and Friends to go out to eat. I will send that to you guys after the show, but I want you all to hold tight, and I want you guys to go. Don't. It ain't all of that now. You can't go to Papa Do's. You can go somewhere. But I appreciate you all, and I wish nothing but blessings upon your marriage. And I hope somebody will watch this and really be transformed, all right?
Appreciate it.
So hold tight and agree for me, all right?
Yeah.
All right, don't leave just yet, okay?
Remember, I might request PJ's friendship now.
Right. Blocked. Be blocked and blessed. Hold tight, you guys, all right? Listen, I want to thank Maya and Kaz, PJ, and Amber for coming on. They just really inspired a generation, and I hope that you who are watching at home and listening on the radio, take something from this and use it. And remember to put God first, because God needs to be at the head, because if only what you do for him will last. And if you put him first, it's going to work out. Believe in that. I'm Phil. You're watching Phil and Friends on WHCR 90.3 FM. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. All right, y'all. Peace.